Hi, I'm Michael Hyatt from michaelhyatt.com and author of the New York Times bestseller Platform, Get Noticed in a Noisy World. Welcome to Easy WordPress Setup. In this short video, I'm going to show you how to launch a self-hosted WordPress blog in 20 minutes or less. And as a bonus, I'll show you how to write and publish your very first blog post. No, you won't need any technical expertise. I've proven that. My original screencast has already helped more than 10,000 people just like you get started with WordPress. I'm going to keep these instructions really simple, and I'm going to walk you through the entire process one click at a time. In essence, you'll be looking over my shoulder, watching me do it on screen. No, I'm not going to teach you what a self-hosted WordPress blog is. I'm assuming you already know that. And if you don't, that's okay. You can follow a link I've included in the notes below this video. It explains the differences between hosted and self-hosted WordPress. Let me just say that in a word, the difference is about control. Self-hosted WordPress gives you more control over your blog, and it's what most serious bloggers use. It's what I use on my site at michaelhyatt.com. So let's get started. I've organized this tutorial around 7 steps. Step number 1, gather your resources. Here's what you're going to need to set up your self-hosted WordPress blog. First, you'll need a domain name. That is a name for your blog, and this is what most people type in the address bar of their internet browser to get to your blog. Mine, for example, is michaelhyatt.com. Yours might be your name or the name of your company, and it doesn't have to be registered. In fact, it's better if it's not. You'll also need a credit card, and you'll need to allocate about 20 minutes. That's it. And in this tutorial, we're going to set up a blog called easywpdemo.com, which is simply a demo site that I'm going to use in the screencast, which leads us to step number 2. Set up a hosting account. Now, a hosting account is where your blog will live. This is a server, in other words, a computer, in the cloud. That is a remote computer where you will rent space to install the WordPress software and manage your blog. And if that causes your eyes to glaze over or you don't understand it, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Just understand that this is where your blog is going to live. Now, there are a lot of hosting services available, hundreds, maybe even thousands, but I recommend one, and the one I recommend is Bluehost. Now, I recommend Bluehost for 7 specific reasons. Reason number 1, support. Bluehost has great 24/7 support via phone, email, or chat. And I've had a few opportunities to test it myself, and I've always found them to be quick, courteous, knowledgeable, really terrific support. All the company's support staff are also located in the US. Reason number 2, reliability. Bluehost is super reliable. It has an uptime average of 99.9%, and that's honestly as good as it gets. Reason number 3, ease of use. Bluehost is very easy to use, as you're going to see. In fact, shockingly so. You'll wonder why you haven't set up a hosting service before now. Reason number 4, WordPress itself. WordPress only officially recommends 3 hosting services, and Bluehost is number 1. It hosts almost 1 million WordPress blogs. Reason number 5, no limits. Bluehost offers unlimited disk space, unlimited bandwidth, unlimited domains, that is, you can host multiple blogs on one account, and unlimited email accounts. Reason number 6, affordability. Bluehost is inexpensive, just a few dollars a month, depending on which plan you pick. And in a moment, I'll tell you how to get it at a discount off the advertised price. Reason number 7, values. In its terms of service, Bluehost prohibits pornography and other adult content, and it strictly enforces this standard and deletes sites that violate it. I like this because, frankly, it squares with my values. I don't want my blog sitting on the same server as some pornographer. And I don't know if you share that value. I'm not trying to impose my values on you. But if that's important to you, Bluehost is one of the few hosting services that has that policy and enforces it. In fact, I checked the other 4 most popular hosting services, and all of them allow for pornography. Bluehost is the only exception. In my view, These 7 reasons make Bluehost a no-brainer. So let's go to the site. Just type in michaelhyatt.com/Bluehost, hit enter, and you'll be taken to the Bluehost homepage. Again, that's michaelhyatt.com/Bluehost. And yes, that's an affiliate link, which means Bluehost pays me a commission if you sign up through me. It doesn't cost you 1 cent more. Bluehost absorbs this cost. It's the same price for you either way. And just so you know, all the hosting services do that. I could have chosen any of them, and they would have been happy to pay me a commission. The reason I recommend Bluehost above the others is for the 7 reasons I gave a moment ago. I should also mention that I don't use Bluehost for michaelhyatt.com. At this point, my site is just too big. My blog is running on 2 dedicated and mirrored servers, and Bluehost specializes in shared servers rather than dedicated servers, so it really doesn't work for me with my level of traffic, which is hundreds of thousands of unique visitors each month. But my other sites are running on Bluehost, including my wife's site, and I've recommended it to family members and thousands of other bloggers. In the last 3 years I've been doing this, I've only had a handful of complaints. Now, keep in mind that Bluehost offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, which if you scroll down on your site, you can see it right there. And it also has this written into their terms of service, which defines this as 30 days. So there's really no risk on your part at all. Okay, so now go to the link, again, michaelhyatt.com/Bluehost if you're not already there. You should be on the Bluehost homepage. It looks similar to this. Bluehost does change the design of this from time to time, so don't be too concerned if it looks somewhat different. But now you want to click on the Get Started Now button. This is where the fun starts. And here you need to select your plan. And I want to suggest that you pick the Plus plan, which is their most popular option. It's only 50 cents more a month than the starter plan, but it gives you the ability to host an unlimited number of websites on this one account. I think that makes it a no-brainer. So let's just click on Select. And regardless of the plan that you pick, my instructions are going to work for you. The math will just be different. Again, I recommend the Plus plan. Now you need to decide whether you need a domain name or you already have a domain name. Now we're going to choose the first option, and we're going to assume that we haven't previously registered a domain using some other domain registration service. And if you have previously registered a domain, for example, at GoDaddy.com, which is a very popular site for this, you want to pick the second option. I'm not going to go through that on this screencast, but I will explain it below in the notes. It requires an additional step. So now enter your domain name, and I've already checked this before. I'm going to use EasyWP Demo, and then you're going to click on the Next button. I'm just going to create a demo account here that I'm going to delete later. And now you're going to fill in the account information. And I'm going to use 1Password here to automatically enter in all my information. And I've blurred this out for obvious reasons. I'm going to use a different email account here. And then at this point, you're going to have to choose which package you want. As you can see, the prices range here from $3.95 to $5.95 per month. Again, this is for the Plus package. If you picked another plan, your options will be different. But the price depends on the length of your commitment. And note, if you didn't use my affiliate link, you're not going to see these prices. This special price, $1 per month off the regular price, is only available if you use my affiliate link. Again, that's at michaelhyatt.com/Bluehost. If you're unsure, though, select the 12-month price. It's more expensive, but you only have to commit for a year. If you are sure, select the 24 or the 36-month price. It's the least expensive. But keep in mind, you'll be required to pay Bluehost in advance. That's how Bluehost is able to offer these super low prices. So just to review, and let me just do the math for you. So 12 months at $5.95 a month is going to be $71.40 per year and $71.40 up front. 24 months at $4.95 per month is going to be $59.40 per year and $118.80 up front. 36 months at $3.95 per year is going to be $47.40 per year and $142.20 up front. So I'm going to pick the 36-month option because, again, that's the cheapest. I am not going to select any of these other options. I'm going to uncheck Domain Privacy Protection, Site Backup Pro, Site Lock, Domain Security, and the Search Engine Jumpstart Google Apps for Work. I'm just going to make sure that none of those are selected, but that's up to you. Now you're going to enter your billing information. And again, I'm going to do this automatically using 1Password, again, blurred out for obvious reasons. Now confirm that you've read and agree with Bluehost Terms of Service, and then you're going to simply click on the Next button. The system will now verify your credit card information. And this may just take a minute, so you've got to be patient. I'm not a very good waiter. Now, the system is going to offer you some other upgrades here, and there's a bunch of them. And I would just recommend for right now that you avoid these. You can always do these later, but you're just going to go down and you're going to click on the Complete button, as in complete my order. Again, you have to be patient because the system is going to be completing your order, and this is going to take a minute or two. And you should now see, welcome to Bluehost, congratulations. Note that a confirmation email is going to be sent to your email address. Now you're going to need to create a password and a login. Start by creating your password by clicking on the Create Your Password button. You might get that error page, by the way, as you flip from page to page. Don't worry about it. It usually resolves itself okay. Now you're going to need to click on the password generator. This lets Bluehost assign a password for you that's going to be strong and going to be difficult for people to guess. And I would go ahead and use this suggested password, but first write it down. You're going to need it later, and then copy it to the clipboard by pressing Command-C on the Mac or Control-C on a PC. We're going to need this in a minute, but then click on the Paste button, and that's going to insert it into the appropriate fields. And then you're going to need to make sure that you've clicked on this I confirm I have read and agree to the terms of service, etc., etc., etc. And now you're going to click on the Create button. And 1Password is going to give me the option to save this, and I'm going to save this as a new login. And I'm going to call this Bluehost Easy WP Demo, and I have a lot of these little Bluehost sites, so I want to be able to distinguish it and get back to it when I need it. I'm just going to click on Save there. And that brings you to the Bluehost login screen. This is the hosting login screen, and if you're using 1Password, it'll prompt you to save it, as I said, which I'm going to do, and then you're going to log into Bluehost. So all you need to do is click in the password field down here. It's already inserted the name of your particular domain, and I'm going to do Command-V, which is going to give me the password that I selected previously and saved it to the clipboard. Then I'm going to click Submit. And I've already saved this once, so I'm not going to do it again. Now you might see this option which says Optimized Hosting for WordPress. It's another product that Bluehost is trying to sell you to provide this upsell, and for now I'm going to say no. Again, you can always go back and do this later if you want to, so I'm just going to ignore that for now. And what you need to do at this point is click on this hosting link in the upper left-hand corner. And this is going to take you to the main control panel. And now you should be looking at the cPanel, but you'll likely get yet another pop-up that offers to help you set up your account. This may be the Walk Me Guide. This also changes from time to time, but click on the X because you're not going to need this because I'm going to help you do it. You don't need another guide to do it. Now scroll down until you get to, and this is step 3, install WordPress. So you see this link down here with the WordPress icon that says install WordPress. Now, don't be scared by this step. It's amazingly simple. It used to be complicated, and you had to be a semi-geek to pull it off. But Bluehost makes it super simple. Trust me, anyone can do this. So click on this icon, And you're going to wait for a new page. Again, it's going to take just a minute as it churns in the background. And this new WordPress screen appears. Select Install and click on that. And now select the domain on which you want to install WordPress, and it should default to the correct one. You can look here to see if there's any other domains, but this is the one you want. So just take the default one. You don't need to add anything onto the directory field. Just leave that blank and click on the Check Domain button. And again, you'll notice this says it's going to take a couple minutes just to make sure that that domain is there. Click on Advanced Options, and then site name or title. We're going to go ahead and put the site name in there as ezwpdemo.com. You don't have to put that. You could put actually words there. This could be just Michael Hyatt or the name of whatever your name is or the name of your company, whatever. It doesn't matter. You can change all this later. Then you're going to have your administration or administrative username and your administrative password. These are critically important. Write this information down. For now, just use the password that they suggest. These are your WordPress user credentials, and they're different than your Bluehost user credentials. You'll need both, though you will use the WordPress credentials 95% of the time. Click on the item that says, I have read the terms and conditions of the GPLv2, whatever that is, and then click on Install Now. Actually, I'm going to save the password to the clipboard, again with Command-C on the Mac, Control-C on a PC, and then I'm going to click on Install Now. So again, we're going to wait while this works in the background. It's basically installing WordPress. And again, here is another screen that basically says we're setting up WordPress, and it's going to invite you to find a theme. You don't need to do that now. But you can see here it says your install is underway, and you can see a progress meter at the top. And again, be patient. This likely takes a minute or two, depending on how active the servers are at Bluehost. And then it says your install is complete. So now you want to click on the View Credentials button. And this is giving you your credentials, a note down here at the bottom. And you're going to want to click on View to view your credentials. And there they are. This is the information that you're going to need. Again, write this down, save it to Evernote, or take a screenshot. Bluehost will email this to you also, but I just like to be safe. I'm the kind of guy that wears a belt and suspenders. Not really, but you get the idea. It's good to have a backup. So for now, select the password and copy it to the clipboard. So we're going to copy this one right here. Again, with Command-C or Control-C, depending on whether you're on a Mac or a PC. So now we're making serious progress. You've successfully installed WordPress, so let's take it for a spin. Step number 4 is log into the WordPress admin panel. So click on this admin URL link. That's going to open up in a new tab. And this is a screen that you're going to get very familiar with. This is the WordPress login page. So now enter your username and password. Remember, you wrote this down a few moments ago. If you want, you can just go back to that same page. If for some reason you forgot to copy it, I'm just going to copy it here again. Then you're going to go back and enter that as your password. I would suggest you click on the Remember Me checkbox so that it will remember you from this point forward, and then click on the Login button. And if you're using 1Password like I am, it's going to prompt you to save these credentials so you don't have to remember them again, and I, in fact, am going to save those. And WordPress is going to ask you, you can see here in this green highlighted box, if you want to connect Jetpack to your WordPress account. Now, you're going to want to do this later probably, so make a note of it, but we're not going to do it right now. It's pretty simple, but you'll need to set up a free account on WordPress.com first. And if you want to do that now, you can. I'm just not going to walk you through that process. Again, we can do that later. So you might see also a welcome screen here, but if you do, just click Dismiss. But you're now looking at the WordPress dashboard. This is the screen or a similar screen that you want to get to. Now, sometimes bloggers refer to this as the WordPress backend. The front end is what your readers see, your normal blog site. The back end is what you see, how you control what appears on the front end. Another way to think of it is the back end is like the backstage. The front end is like the front stage, what the audience sees. But this brings us to step number 5, and this is getting fun. Write your first blog post. So what you're going to do is go over here to this post menu item. You're going to click on that, and then you're going to select Add New. Now I'm going to just suggest, we can dismiss this, that you enter the title for this post, and I'm just going to type, Welcome to my blog. Very clever, right? And then down in the body field is where you're going to type the body of the post. And in this case, I've got some boilerplate text from Typinator, and I'm going to just do this in one fell swoop so you don't have to watch me painfully enter this all by hand. But there, so I'm cheating a little bit, but that's your first post. Now, click the Publish button. This is going to actually publish your post for the whole world to see. You're still looking at the WordPress backend. This is where we make the sausage, so to speak, but your post is displayed on the WordPress front end where we serve the sausage. So note there's a message right below the word dashboard or edit post. And it says, your site is currently displaying a coming soon page. Once you're ready to launch your site, click here. So we're going to click that. So that's just doing some back-end processing and removing a maintenance screen on the front end, which doesn't really matter here. But now what I want you to do is go ahead and click the View Post link. And that's the front page of your site. Congratulations. Now step number 6, load your new blog. So you can see here that we've already loaded it. This is what it looks like. And there's nothing fancy here. WordPress uses a very generic theme by default. But frankly, that's the beauty of WordPress. There are thousands of themes available. You can customize this to your heart's content. And I'll talk about this more in just a minute. But this brings us to the final step, which is step number 7, bookmark your blog. Now, you want to save 2 bookmarks. I would save the front end right here, and here's what I would do. I would just, whatever browser you're using, there's usually a bookmark function, and I'm going to go up here to that, and I'm going to save this bookmark. So bookmark this page, and I'm just going to call this is going to just be the front end, and I'm actually going to save it in a folder that I've got called blog. Click on Done, and you can see that right there is this easy WP demo. And then let's go back to the administrative back end. Okay, and I'm going to click on the dashboard because that's actually where I want this to come up every time I load the back end. And then I'm going to save this. Again, I'm going to go up to Bookmarks, bookmark this page, and I'm going to call this easywordpress.com. And I just like to call this admin, and again save it to blog, and you can see here that there it is. It's got the front end of the site, it's also got the back end of the site, and I can get there with a simple single click.
Well, that's about it. If you followed my instructions, you now have your very own self-hosted WordPress blog. Congratulations! Probably the next thing you want to do is select a theme for your WordPress blog. You can find thousands of free ones on the internet. Just Google free WordPress themes. Personally, I'd recommend spending a little money and buying a premium theme. I recommend the Get Noticed theme for WordPress. This is the theme that I personally designed and built with my friend Andrew Buckman. It has features that no other WordPress theme has. It's particularly helpful for anyone wanting to build a personal brand. Authors, speakers, comedians, musicians, real estate agents, mortgage brokers, entrepreneurs, you get the idea. You can find out more at getnoticedtheme.com. And if you want to learn more about WordPress, I recommend WP101.com. This is basically a WordPress tutorial site with videos on how to do everything and anything in WordPress. I have links in the post below to my theme and to WP101.com. And just like the Bluehost link, the WP101 link is an affiliate link. But if I've helped you in this free screencast, you can help me by clicking on that link. If you don't want to, that's fine too. It just helps me continue to provide helpful resources like this. For more information about blogging and building your platform, visit my blog at michaelhyatt.com. Thanks.